What's going on, everyone? Lauren Sisler here with AL.com, Jim Dunaway with the JOX Roundtable, and 'tis the season. It is SEC championship season. It is time to win a title. Alabama, Georgia, and we got a good matchup. We're here in the Caliber store hanging out, talking a little football as we get ready for the big kickoff.
We appreciate Caliber having us all year as we wrap up this part of the football season. Minus 13 is what Danny Sheridan says. Almost 2 full touchdowns. Alabama's a favorite over Georgia. Remember, this game went to overtime in the same building 11 months ago. Now, here's the key for me. This seems to be a football game a lot of America has been waiting for, and now they're getting it. And it seems like, anyway, both teams could be in the playoffs if Georgia wins. But for the Bulldogs, a loss, and they're done. So they got a lot on the line.
Yeah, 21%, according to the playoff predictor, that both teams can reach the playoffs. We'll see how that goes. Let's go 3 and out. Jimmy D will go first down, and we're going to say greatest challenge in this football game. What is the greatest challenge Alabama faces?
The greatest challenge for Alabama is going to be running the football against this Georgia defense. Now, in the SEC championship game, traditionally, team that leads in rushing wins the football game. That's one of those things you look at. In this one, that might not be the case. Alabama looks like a passing team, right? Ironically, 58% of their plays this year have been runs. So they sometimes pass to set up the run or run to set up the pass, but either way, Alabama's got to run the football on the Georgia Bulldogs.
Okay, I'm going to flip that around and say stopping the run game. I know that a lot of people talk about this dynamic duo between Elijah Holyfield and DeAndre Swift not being nearly as good as Sony Michel and Nick Chubb were a season ago, but as this season has rolled on, their statistics have gotten even greater. And actually right now, they're about even keel with where those guys were a season ago. And I think stopping the run game will be key behind them. I think Jake Fromm has some weapons offensively, and the run game will certainly be a difficult test for this Alabama defense.
Give me a key matchup as we do second down. What's a matchup in this game that you're watching?
I'm going to go with Jerry Jeudy and DeAndre Baker. I think that this will be one of the toughest secondaries that Alabama has faced this season. So I'm interested to see how that works out. Is this going to be a one-on-one matchup between these two? Is he going to be able to shut down Jerry Jeudy and some of these other guys that Alabama, the weapons that Tua has? Because we've seen that Alabama has been able to win football games through the air predominantly. So we'll see if they are able to shut it down and make them a little more one-dimensional.
This is a lot like the LSU game. Georgia's back end of the defense is really good, like you're talking about, just like LSU was. The front end, not as good this year as it was with Roquan Smith last year. They don't have the same pressuring the quarterback ability up front. So to me, the key matchup in this one is Georgia trying to get to Tua Tagovailoa. If they let Tua sit back there and have time to find those open receivers, as good as Baker is, all day long, he cannot cover Jeudy. So more time for Tua, more time for Jeudy or Ruggs or Smith, and for those guys to get open. So Georgia's got to find some pressure on the quarterback. That's a key matchup.
All right, key to victory. What does Alabama have to do especially well to get the win?
Well, first of all, special teams. Now, if you're an Alabama fan, you're probably nervous on every punt. After seeing Auburn block one, get a short field, you're like, boy, the punter's really slow at getting the ball off. So that will be a concern. In the great 32-28 showdown back in 2012 when these two teams played for the SEC championship, one of the greatest football games I ever saw, Alabama had a blocked field goal return for a touchdown, and I thought that was game over Georgia. You don't want to give Georgia an extra possession like that, giving them a short field or a touchdown off of a special team mistake. So special teams have to tighten it up for Bama.
I'm going to go right to the quarterback. Tua Tagovailoa said in his press conference on Monday, the key to victory for them will be getting out to a fast start. That's something they've struggled with these last 2 games. They're locked up with the Citadel 10-10. They're only up by 3 against Auburn. So a little bit of a slow start for the offense. But in the grand scheme of things, get this. This statistic kind of blows your mind. Alabama has only been behind on 3 snaps this entire season. That's got to be epic.
Yeah, that goes back to the 1888 Yale team. Ooh. Back when they were actually teaching the game of football to other schools. They were 13-0 that year. They won their first 12 games by more than 20 points. Alabama's the only other team to do that. Started the year off with 12 wins by 20 or more points. So 2018 Alabama, 1888 Yale. With the pinky in the air, Yale.
All right, Jim, I'll let you go first on the picks. You are the honorary captain, as it has been every week. You make your pick first.
I'm going to go 34-31 Alabama. Closest game of the year for the Crimson Tide, obviously under 20 points. And I think this is one of those epic games, last possession. And Georgia, if that score holds up, won't make the playoffs, but I think they'll be one of the 4 best teams in America, and that's unfortunate with 2 losses. They've improved a lot on third down. Third down efficiency, Georgia and Alabama defensively are some of the best in the country. And I think this game comes down to Georgia being able to move the football and score some points on the Alabama defense here. But when it's all said and done, I think Alabama barely wins. And if they lose this game, it's no guarantee that they're in the playoffs. You got a selection committee of humans. And remember, last year Alabama was compared to a 2-loss conference champion. Now this would be 1-loss conference champions if Ohio State or Oklahoma wins. So nerve-wracking Saturday for Alabama fans is what I'm projecting.
It's interesting that you should say that Alabama could win this one by 3 points. That's your prediction, because if you look at Nick Saban's overall body of work against his former assistants, he is 15-0, and the closest that an assistant has got is Kirby Smart, and that was by 3 points in the national championship game. So we could have a repeat of that based on your prediction. My prediction, not quite as close. I think that, as Nick Saban said, this Georgia team is the most complete football team, one of the best in the country in terms of all phases of the game, offense, defense, and special teams. I've got Alabama winning this one 31-21.
31-21, and if Alabama does that, they're off to the college football playoffs. And we've been here for 13 events now, 13 games, and our friends at Caliber have been fantastic.
Yeah, love our Caliber store. I was in here shopping earlier last week for some Christmas items. You can check them out
Don't
for
give away the secrets.
All your hunting and fishing needs, and maybe even some cool sunglasses, because I got some of those too.
Oh, like for you?
For me.
Okay.
I did some early Christmas shopping for myself.
I didn't want Mr. Wright to be watching this and know what he's going to get for Christmas.
Oh, well, no surprises.
No surprises.
Maybe not.
What is surprising is the heat off the fireplace.
Woo!
We'll see you next year, folks.
Bye-bye now. So cheesy.
It's very cheesy. It's probably the cheesiest thing you've done this year.
That's good, though. I like cheesy.
All right, we're going to do it again. All right, ready? Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. What's going on, everyone? Lauren Sisler here. I got to wipe the smirk off my face.
Are you doing
one more time.
well, you can't be serious.
Okay.
Let's do a matchup. Nope. Let's do our picks.
You got a little excited about the pinky.
Yeah. A little rumpa-pum-pum.
This video was brought to you by Caliber, a luxury store in Homewood, Alabama that's reviving the finer things in hunting and fishing.